Hi, good morning, Facebook. Good to see everyone this morning. I'm coming on to here today, as I talked about last Tuesday morning, about a series that I wanted to discuss regarding can I have everything or why can't I have everything? And this is for the women who carry the weight of the world on their backs. And last week I talked about part one and talked about how did I get here. Part two, I talked about when I thought I knew everything, and you can find that on the Facebook group. Have the best of both worlds, wife and leader. You can find it there. And if you can't find it, just DM, let me know and send me a message, and I can send that part there. But today, I wanted to share with you regarding how rejection changed my life. How rejection changed my life. And all of us, well, some of us, if not all of us, have dealt with rejection. So when we're talking about a woman in leadership, why can't I have everything? Why can't I have it all for a woman who carries the weight of the world on her back? When we're talking about carrying the weight of the world on our back, how did we get here? Like what evolved for us to that we feel like we have to carry everything and the weight of the world on our back? And when I think about it, I think about the times that we have dealt with rejection. We've all dealt with rejection. So let's think about it. Even going throughout the time of our lives when we're talking about rejection. So I can think about rejection as simple and as early as playing games in the schoolyard, right? And people want to choose who's going to be on their team. And when you are not chosen to be on a team, that's a form of rejection. Like, what? I can't be a part of your team? Like that. Listen, that's rejection. Or remember those times, ladies, when you're playing double dutch and you're on teams, and then somebody does like, I don't want her to be my partner, my double dutch partner. And it's like, what? I could jump, right? That was almost fighting words. I could jump. And so, and so when we're talking about rejection, a lot of that we've dealt with during that time. So when we're talking about the course of why do I carry the weight of the world on my back, one of the things that is that how rejection changed our lives when we're talking about rejection, because rejection changed our lives. And the first thing how it changed our lives is that some of us have become passive. What do you mean? Like how becoming passive has necessarily changed and being rejected? Let's be real. When we're rejected, let's talk about relationships. When we're rejected, we become passive, that we seem to allow things that are not necessarily something that we agree with, or not necessarily that something that we want to do, or not necessarily that something that we will go along with, that we just allow it to be. That we just allow it to be. We become passive. And so when we're rejected, we become passive, because sometimes in rejection, we may not, the rejection doesn't seem just. When the rejection doesn't seem just, when we feel that we need to get along, to be along, to get along, to get along, to be along, I can't remember right now, to get along, to be along, we become passive. Some of us might be like, no, that's not me. I'm never passive. But if you really are honest with yourself, and we are really honest with ourselves, and we look back over our lives and we think about it, yes, we have become passive beings. And when we become passive, that is another pair of luggage. That is another book bag on our back. Passive. When rejection changes our life. So that's one thing. The second thing is not only the fact that we become passive when we're talking about how rejection changes our life, we become passive, but the second thing is we become pleasing. Somebody right there, I was like, well, that's not me. Whether you're catching it right now live or you're catching it on a replay, y'all saying that's not me. I don't please nobody. I please myself and I do this. Think about it. We become pleasing. And you're in leadership, at times you really have to please, because sometimes we might take pleasing in the place of serving. Pleasing in the place of serving. Some of you may argue right now to say pleasing and serving is the same thing. But when it comes to pleasing, it comes to pleasing on the grounds of taking away from something that we believe. I will do whatever you like. Come on, y'all remember the, what is it, Coming to America? When he said, bark like a dog, or do this and do that. And she said, whatever you like, whatever you like, whatever you like. We become pleasing because of the fear of rejection, or the fact that we have been rejected. Let's think about it. Oh, because you're not this and you're not that, or you're not doing this and you're not doing that, that's why you will not get this or get that. And then in turn, we become pleasing. Sure, whatever you like. That's what we did. Some of y'all lying to yourself. Some of you like, no, that's not me. That's not me. Y'all lying. I could just think of 1,000 stories how I became pleasing due to rejection, because I didn't like the feeling of rejection. And the reason why I won't go into the stories, because some of y'all that's watching this are probably a part of the story. So I don't want to put y'all out there. So when we're talking about rejection and how rejection can change our lives, when we're talking about rejection, we talk about being passive, we talk about being pleasing. And then the third thing is that we are proving. Passive, pleasing, and proving. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I'm capable and able of. Why? Because of rejection. That's what we've done. We've done that to prove to somebody why they were wrong in rejecting us. And so what we do is we add on more on our backs. We carry more on our backs because of the rejection. And even as adults, some of us still do it. I want to prove you wrong. Yeah, I did the ugly, smugly face. We feel like it's a check off of on our box. Why we got to prove somebody wrong. Why I got to prove you wrong? If you reject, then so be it. But when we're talking about women, why we can't have it all, for the woman that carries the weight of the world on her back, she carries the weight of the world on her back, is because she's not only she hasn't not only been passive, not only has she been pleasing, but she has been proving, meaning trying to show somebody that they were wrong in their rejection of her. So I'm going to add something else, because I'm going to add something else on my plate so that they can see that they were wrong for rejecting me. But that changes our lives. That changes our lives, because why accept that? Why accept the fact? I mean, I could just remember so many times that I had to be proving to people. I remember so many times that I had to be pleasing to people. So many times that I was passive. I mean, when I'm talking about being passive, I'm talking about being passive to the point that people, let me just be real, that people believed that I was so quiet, that people believed that I didn't have a voice, that people were like, oh, I'm so surprised you spoke up. Why? Because I was being passive due to rejection. So when we're talking about pleasing, meaning I was pleasing for the fact that you need to know who I am. But then when we're talking about proving, I need to prove to you why you didn't realize how great I was or great I am. But when we really look at that, that's how rejection can change our lives, when we understand what that truly is. When we understand how that has impacted us as females, as leaders, as people, how that has impacted us. Being passive, being proving, being pleasing. The three P's. I made that up right now. The 3 P's. Passive, proving. What did I say? Passive, proving, and pleasing. Yeah. That's what we've done. And when we're passive, proving, and pleasing, we have added a passive bag, a proving bag, and a pleasing bag. And ladies, that is more weight that we've added to ourselves and that we have been carrying. So when we say, why can't I have everything? Why can't I have it all? The woman who carries the weight of the world on her back, she done added 3 more bags to the other 6 bags that I talked about before in part 1 and part 2. So this is part 3. Here we are right now, 9 bags. Yeah, 3, 6, 9. 9 bags that we're carrying. That's a part of the weight of the world that she carries on her back. If that's you, or you know somebody, if that is you, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to www.MaxineFreeGift.com, and there you can get some information there. And if you want the entire series, you can go there and join the Facebook group, Have the Best of Both Worlds, Wife and Leader, and you will get the entire series there. If you say, you know what, I don't even need to have the entire series, I want to talk more to you, please. I know people have DM'd me. I know people have sent me instant messenger, and I am grateful for it. I will be honest, it's hard to get back to everybody because not only do people Instagram or DM me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger about these posts, but other things. So it's hard for me to catch up. But I will say, if that's you, but you want to talk about this right here, why don't you go to www.wifebossacademy.com, and right there is a link there. You can schedule an actual breakthrough call, and we can talk about it and talk about how these posts and how these videos have helped you, and how we can talk about taking you to the next level in that. Oh, I just realized I don't have my ring on. Oh, Lord. Anyway. So with all that being said, I just wanted to encourage somebody. Again, this is part 3 of the series where we're talking about, can I have everything? Can I have it all, for the woman who carries the weight of the world on her back? Here today, we're talking about how rejection can change our lives. And rejection can change our lives in 3 ways: by being passive, pleasing, and proving. That's what happens. Some of us saying, no, not me. But here's the thing. Take the time to look in to see if that was you. Be honest with ourselves. Why do we front on our own self? I know I fronted on myself for a long time. When we know that saying that there's no future in fronting, and I used to be like, oh, there's no future in fronting. But when I really take a look at myself and I look in the mirror, I fronted on myself for a long time. It's time to stop fronting on yourself. Be real with yourself. It's all good. And I'm going to tell you, if you know me as a true friend, and you know me, if you somebody that rock with, meaning if you have my personal cell phone number, all right, let's just do it that way. If you have my personal cell phone number, we rock like that. We cool like that. You don't have to front with me, and I'm not going to front with you. That's over. Let's throw that. Let's leave that with the 2020 bag, because in 2020 that, we're going to leave it over there. We're going to leave it over there. Let's step into 2021 on that no fronting. There's no future in it. So forget all that rejection. Forget all that. So what? How can rejection change our lives? Because we need to remember that we don't need to move on somebody's rejection. So what? It took me a long time to say so what. So that's what I'm saying to you. So what? Come on, y'all. Let's move along. Here's 2 things. Go to www.MaxineFreeGift.com or go to www.WifeBossAcademy.com, and you can schedule a breakthrough call with me, and we can talk a little bit more in detail for you personally on how we can take this whole thing to the next level in your leadership. All right? Good to talk to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are logging in. Have a great and good day. Take care. God bless.